Hello, fellas and ladies. It's time to review Die, My Love, the newest film from Lynn Ramsey. You probably know her for films like Morphin Collar and We Need to Talk About Kevin, and maybe more recently, You Were Never Really Here, all the way back in 2017. That's her recent one. She's a very bold filmmaker, often unflinching in her profound, but pretty lethargic views of people. And Die, My Love, her first film in nearly a decade, is no exception. This time honing in on a couple played by Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson, but mostly Lawrence's character Grace as they move to a rural home they inherited and have a child. And we focus on Grace as the stresses of maintaining a home, a relationship, and a newborn begin to drive her to the brink of insanity. Admittedly, walking out of it, I definitely had this vibe I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this movie, and that's par for the course. I kind of expected to feel that way. That is a bit of a bread and butter thing for Lynn Ramsey. I'm 24. I have no kids. I'm a male. This movie isn't trying to enact an experience that's relatable to me. And there's a lot going on here. And there's a lot of Lynn Ramsey's mind that feels very intriguing. Upon, really reflecting on this movie, I have really grown to really fall for this film's absurdity and what exactly Lynn Ramsey is aiming at. I think to say that this film is about postpartum depression kind of misses the point a little bit. It's definitely there. Obviously a part of this film is the way that this couple's relationship is changed and this woman's life is changed with a baby now. But I think that it's really just a fraction of this film. We are generally watching a psychosis take place in these two people, but mostly Jennifer Lawrence's character. And despite the bleakness of watching this blossoming love crumble, there is a beating heart in there. I think the film is in its core bleak, but I also think that there is an inherent humanity throughout this whole thing. I think Lynn Ramsey does an excellent job of pulling you in and making you feel these people's diminishing psychology. Some of the ways that she does that is ways that you may expect if you're familiar with Lynn Ramsey's work, such as the camera work and the overbearing sound. Something like a fly buzzing can really just nag at you and make you just angry. Seamus McGarvey is the cinematographer here, and I thought this movie looked outstanding. The way the environments and the way that he closes in on the subjects of this movie are very interesting. The way that the movie looks at Jennifer Lawrence. I also love the way this movie looks during the nighttime scenes. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just the way that the night looks in this movie, where it could be pretty dim. This movie actually does a very interesting thing. I think the tone of this movie is very brilliant. It really gets under your skin and makes you feel almost unsafe. A film this movie does make a very great companion to another film that just came out called If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. The titles even mean the same thing, really. In both of them, we're kind of watching a mother get overstimulated by maternal struggles. However, I feel If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is a little more broad. It's maybe dealing with something a little more, specific, but it is kind of a little more universal. Whereas this movie is more watching those things drive Jennifer Lawrence actually crazy. The movie wants you to kind of uncomfortably question if this woman is a good parent or if she was right to be a parent, if she's actually just having serious mental health problems or if she's just being driven to these extremes. Lynn Ramsey definitely offers you almost crumbs, and you kind of have to follow them yourself in a way. And for a lot of audiences, I can see why this film's approach is not exactly the most compelling. I think there are moments when Ramsey maybe wants too much distance from the audience, where the things that Jennifer Lawrence's character does is just a little too questionable, even if it does come from a really grounded place. Although the ending is definitely very confounding. Even I was a little put off by the ending, if I'm being completely honest. Even though I did reflect on the film's brilliance, however, I did find its ending a little I know there was no universe where it was gonna give you a little cherry on top ending, but I did feel the end was maybe I don't know. I think it's trying to separate itself from audience expectation a little too much. That being said, a lot of stylistic choices with the editing and the writing and the very purposeful character decisions really evolves into this portrait of this relationship just diminishing. We see that these characters have genuine love for each other, but we see the natural ways that it withers away. Jennifer Lawrence is genuinely a treat here. She is obviously asked to do a lot, but she does it in a very grounded way. You may have seen a clip that went viral where Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence are just yelling at each other. And, like, it's in there, but I think out of context, that scene can feel over the top, but in here it feels so natural because you kind of do see, even if you don't know who to agree with, you see their like frustrations with each other built up, like her frustration with him bringing home a dog and forcing her to take care of it, or even like sexual frustrations do bubble up in this film in a very thoughtful way. And Jennifer Lawrence does everything in a way that you're like, in her brain, what she's doing makes sense. She maybe doesn't realize that maybe this isn't the correct decision, but it's almost warranted. Robert Pattinson also is pretty fantastic. He's not as much the focus, so his psychosis isn't quite as like focused in on, even if it definitely gets his moments to shine. And Pattinson, like any performance he does, makes these very interesting choices, and that makes him very compelling to watch. Sissy Spacek is also a really big standout. I like what they did with her a lot, even if, again, some choices are questionable, although maybe upon rewatch I'll understand it more. Lakeith Stanfield is a total wash in this movie. His storyline is definitely my least favorite element of this movie, and they could have cut it out entirely. It doesn't ruin the film per se, but I definitely was kind of like, what was the purpose of that at the end of the day? And I know a lot of people share the same complaint. I do think that this film is going to be off-putting for a lot of people. Like, I think people who were only coming in because like Jennifer Lawrence or Robert Pattinson are going to be very like, what the fuck was that? But at the same time, there is a lot for an audience to like enjoy, even if they aren't quite into the meat of it. They're still watching people go insane, and that's entertaining as is. But I do think that the root of this film is a very real thing. Watching the core of a love for a spouse or a child or a family or a home kind of just eat away at you and start to actually forget what is real and what is sane. It's a very fascinating and brilliant like portrait that honestly, the more I think about it, the more I actually admire. I don't know if it ranks amongst Lynn Ramsey's absolute best, although I think it's definitely up there. Well, I mean, she doesn't have the largest filmography. I also wouldn't call myself the biggest Lynn Ramsey fan in the world, although I have admired everything she's done. But this film, more than any of hers, I definitely found myself really grappling with the most. Because I don't have an emotional connection to this film. And even then, though, the film pulls me in a way that I thought just worked. Die My Love is obviously an overstimulating experience that maybe demands a lot from an audience, but art is meant to make the viewer ponder, and Lynn Ramsey does an excellent job of making her flourishes have deeper purpose in her approach to watching a relationship wither away. You can count for the wild, excellent performance from Jennifer Lawrence, but you'll get a lot more out of it. And I'm going to give Die My Love 8.5 J-Laws out of 10. That's what I got for you for Die My Love. Let's go and share. Bye-bye.